Hello, everybody, and a very warm welcome to this session. I'm joined today by a really treasured member of the CMA. His name is Jackson Ndecheck, and I am absolutely thrilled to have him with us because he's got such an interesting, amazing outlook on healing and looking after people and so on. So, Jackson, thank you so much for joining me. It's just such a lovely pleasure to have you here.
It's a joy to be joining you here, Jenna, and I look forward to this time together and the input that we can bring to people as we look into their lives and advancement of a healthy well-being
Yeah.
towards the future.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's all about. I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much. So, when we set these meetings up, what we like to do is to ask you a few questions, and you've sent through some absolutely excellent, really intriguing things. So, one of the first things I
Wonderful.
really wanted to find out from you is how do you define success in life and in your profession?
I think quite uniquely. Thank you so much, Jenna, for that question. I think the word success, most time people take the word success to mean a thing or an indication of something you have or something you hope to have. But what I look at the word success, I look at first you. That is, success to me begins with me. That's why I become successful. And so I look at what are my goals in life? What do I really want in life? What are the desires of my heart that I want to see myself become? So success is what you become. And what you become is completely and uniquely innate within your desires, your ambitions, that which keep you awake at night. The greatest challenge when it comes to success, you know, I've seen is authenticity.
Mm.
If you're authentic with what you really and truly want in life, if you're authentic with your desires, authentic with your practices, authentic with your lifestyle, you have a summation of what success is. And I've seen that in my practice. Most time the people I talk with, they leave my presence thinking a light bulb went on because their practices and their desires were not congruent. And when there's a lack of congruency from your desires and your lifestyle and your action, or if you will, your habits, then you're probably going to be chasing after an illusion to be successful. Whereas if you tweak who you are the definition of success.
Absolutely, I completely understand. And perhaps we can tell the viewers a little bit about the way that you work with people. So I understand that you practice NLP for starters. What else is it that you do? And if you can explain a little bit about that and what people might expect when they actually come to see you.
Yes, I practice NLP for beginners. I also practice CBT, and I also take on the idea of neuroplasticity. I develop what I call mind mastery for spiritual leadership. Why did I do that? Is because I'm a strong believer in the Bible and being a spiritual leader and working with leader across several continents. I believe that people's spirituality, which is the definition of meaning or purpose in life, has so much to do with their outcome in life. Granted, people might say, well, I don't identify with that religious group or that religious. Look, that's fine. But the idea of spirituality begs the question, do you have a desire burning in your heart that there is more to life than what you have? And so when people come to sit down with me, they want to know their true calling in life, which I find that as my purpose is to help people discover their true calling in life. And so when I use NLP in this area of mind mastery to see how most time our thoughts become the key element that limit our ability to move forward. When I use CBT, I show people how our past sometimes become elaborated and become a giant that stand before us, of course, in our minds. not necessarily that past can hold us down, but that if we choose to reframe our past in the context of what we truly want, we become, if you will, mindful of how that holding onto the past is affecting our today, then we can conclude that tomorrow result is a given. However, if we are willing to reframe the past in order to make different practices of today, quite quickly you already see the future open up, don't you? And then you start moving towards the idea of this spiritual truth taught by the Bible called forgiveness. Look, it has nothing to do with the other person acknowledging that there's something wrong, or they have to come back and say, I was off my head there. Look, for what it's worth, forgiveness in the simplest form is letting go of that which you're holding on to that do you no good. In other words, if the past was painful and did affect you, you're choosing to let go of that past already open you to opportunities, or if you will, it opens you to possibilities towards the future. And so I delight so much see people come, they sit down with me. At the end of our time, they are smiling, they're going back. And I heard people saying, I never knew it was that easy. I always thought I have to do X, Y, Z. And suddenly, quite quickly, they realized, yeah, I could actually choose to act upon what I actually want. I ask questions such as, what is keeping you right now from achieving what you just described to me? I mean, beautiful thing they want to do in the past, in the future. Beautiful thing that, when I get to my dream, I will see this, and they'll explain how their life will be flourishing. They'll be happy. They have these people around them. They see themselves speaking to people and touching life. And I ask a simple question. What do you think is keeping you right now? And if you were to act on it now, what would that be? And suddenly people are off the chains of limitation. So this is my passion, helping people discover their true calling in life.
It sounds just absolutely, absolutely wonderful, Jackson. It really does. And I love hearing your passion for this work.
You're
It's
welcome.
absolutely beautiful. It really, really is. I'm about to jump on a plane and get to Hawaii and come and see you. Absolutely fantastic, honestly. And so that begs a question, because obviously you're joining me from Hawaii today, which is
That's correct.
absolutely, the magic of the internet, really.
That's
But
right.
how do you help people? Are you just helping people over there, or do you have a worldwide reach? How are things now for you?
The lockdown, like you said, the world of internet. It actually gave me an opportunity. Before the lockdown, I was serving. I volunteered my hours serving with an online platform that helped people struggling in terms of counseling. And so they actually motivated me to study more. We help about 34,000 people a month. It was ridiculous during the lockdown. The number just went out.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I got challenged to use Zoom connection. So I run training. I think what I enjoy the most is running my mastery seminars from participants. I have participants from over 20 nations joining me at some given time. And my network spread across Asia, Europe, Africa, and here in the Pacific and the mainland USA. I'm actually next week I'll be on the plane flying for Africa and stop over in Europe for some leadership focused conferences. So it actually gave the opportunity, if you will, to take upon me a new challenge, and that new challenge was moving from this mindset of impacting people in a live event, being there in the room, and really seeing firsthand how that the impartation is the same when it comes to what information does to people's mind and to people's heart. You have people, on the virtual real life like this, weeping in a seminar with other folks and just say, excuse me, I just think I want to express this out. So it's really is giving me added to new challenges, but the challenges have been so exciting. because there was one time I had a seminar that I have people Skyping from China. I have people from Korea. I have people from the Philippines, India, and I have people from Europe. And it's just fascinating the time frames and the time difference that give you to share what you know with people around the world.
How absolutely amazing. Isn't it? We're very, very lucky, I think, to be at this time, obviously with everything
Yeah,
that's been going on in the world, and it has been
absolutely.
such an awful, awful thing.
Yeah,
But if there's any shred of light at the end of the tunnel, it is the fact that, we
yeah,
have had to jump online and actually, embrace technology. But what
that's
it's
right.
done is it's dramatically, enhanced our reach, hasn't it? So,
Right, right,
and I
right.
think obviously, as you're saying, with all of the people that you're able to work with across
Yeah.
all these time zones, it is just extraordinary. It's absolutely wonderful stuff. So, um, one of the things that I was really intrigued when I was reading your notes prior to this, prior to us doing this interview, was you mentioned something about how your habits influence your level of happiness. I know you've touched on that, but can you just say a little bit more about it?
Yes, I think that is one of the things that I've discovered in my own journey to become who I am today and still growing is how much more that when we entertain habit, I think the quick way to address that is congruency.
Yes.
So I have people that have spoken with me, and they were actually trying to lose weight. Okay, just a quick example. They're trying to lose weight, but in their daily habits of practice, they love to drink Coke and they love to eat all sorts of burgers and they
Mm.
love to look. And there's nothing wrong about what you love to eat. However, I am of the opinion that people need to be informed or aware of what their practices are capable of doing to them. And so you tell me I want to lose weight, and yet this is my meal train. And as well, this is how I live my life.
Mm.
And so when I sit down with them to develop habits and how that their habit is going to increase their level of happiness, is we look number one. Do you realize that your brain is the command officer of your entire life and body? In other words, whatever you do that does not propel your brain to be at its very best,
Mm.
you're already at a deficit to become happy. So, happiness is a state rather than a thing. This is why you can very much make yourself happy. Try smiling, I would say to people, and they actually get themselves really fired up. And I say, think about the moment you've had great success in life. And when they start thinking about that moment, they get really, really happy. But that's not what you're looking for, isn't it? They are looking for a lifestyle of fulfillment rather than the illusion of I want to be happy. They are looking for a lifestyle of fulfillment. And a lifestyle of fulfillment start with number one, what is our goals in life? What is it that we are living for? Number two, what are the daily practices that we are currently having? Look, it is not judgment of what is good and right and the kind of things you should have done and oh you missed something last week. No, what just we call that self-awareness.
Mm.
Can you calibrate on how your life goes every day? Number three, how do you see that life goal, the practices of today, are they leading you towards your life goal? If they are not, what can you do now?
Mm.
Not what you do next week. What can you do now that can shift your habit? And the fifth one is, what kind of help do you know that you need that will enable you move towards your goal in life? And then I've seen quite quickly, once people approach their habits, and I had a meal, I had a family over, I had a meal not long ago where a gentleman said to me, I suddenly realized I needed to make a dramatic shift.
Yes.
And from that moment, there is this delight of joy that pour off from his face and excitement. So your habit determine your level of happiness, because your habit are your daily practices which will enable you to be either in a state of fulfillment or take away from your journey towards fulfillment.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. No, it makes complete and utter sense. It really does. What I would love to do is to find out, or to give the viewers some information about how they actually contact you, Jackson. What would be the best way for anybody to get hold of you if they would like to work with you? And can they work with you one-to-one? Because I know you do these big seminars and so on that you've described, but do you actually work one-to-one with people, or how does it actually work?
Yeah, I think the best way for people to contact me is through the CMA website. My email is there, and it's I think it's the best way. Go through CMA and get to me is most easy and best. Granted, my really true delight is to empower people all over the world. Like I said, next we'll be in a plane, going from one city to the next. However, I do work with selected one-on-one people because I have a philosophy. I come with my very best and I give my very best. And excellent is the simple words that mark where I love to begin with people and journey towards what their ultimate goal is in life. So if people do contact me, share with me, we develop some level of rapport, and I see what is it that they're presenting and how that I can really serve them and in what capacity will be best. I will be so glad to welcome them, and then I will let them know this is going to be one-on-one or this is going to be part of group. And I have few other groups that I do some in-house movement with them and coaching and impartation.
Great. Okay. That's lovely because it means that there's a lot of flexibility there, which I think is absolutely
That's
fantastic.
right.
So
That's
what I
right.
want to say is, for anybody who's actually viewing this on YouTube, if you look at the screen where we are at the moment, just to the bottom, the bottom right-hand side of the screen, there's a little down arrow. And if you click on that, what happens is then that the show notes for this particular video will actually open up, and all of Jackson's details, contact details, will actually be there. And we'll also put your website details, or everything that you would like us to put there, Jackson, so that everybody knows exactly how to get hold of you. We need to bring this to a close now, but I honestly could just spend the rest of the day speaking with you because it's been so fascinating. I think we have to bring you back, and actually, as you were speaking, I was actually thinking about, perhaps we could bring you back for one of our CMA tutorials at some point as well in the not too distant future, because it's just been you're such a treasure, and you're just so generous, and the way you share is so generous. So thank you so much. It means
I'll be so delighted. Thank you so much, Jen. This has been a treasure and a treat, and I think I love to just serve and be a blessing, and look forward to see a joy and a light just lead up on people's faces as they go out to achieve their goals in life.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We'll leave it there, and we shall see you again very soon, Jackson. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And from Kailoa Kona, Jen, I say aloha.
Absolutely. Yes. Aloha. Thank you so much.